What's up everyone, I'm CallumOnToast, and in today's video I'm going to be showcasing a couple of sets in the Great League Remix Cup, running a team consisting of 3 of the rarest and most desirable Pokemon in all of Pokemon Go, so this might be one of the biggest team flexes in all of GBL. I'm running Salazzle in the lead. If you've not seen this Pokemon before, that's because it's so freaking rare. You can't catch it or get research tasks for it or raid for it. It's only available in 12km eggs. On top of that, it's in the highest rarity tier for the 12km eggs, meaning you're least likely to hatch the Salandit. And then on top of all of that, you can only evolve the female form, which only has a 1 in 8 chance of being female. So it's just ridiculously hard to obtain this Pokemon. It's taken me over 2 months to finally get it, and I caught it the day before this season began, so I decided to run it in all of my teams so far this season. And then in the back, I've got 2 of the biggest flexes available right now. We just had GoFest. Shiny Axew was the star of the show, the most desired Pokemon available, and I was so lucky to catch 2 of them. And not only that, one of them was low enough CP that I could evolve into a Great League Haxorus. So I'm going to be running both of them here in the back with the Fraxure as well. They do not have very good IV spreads at all, so just bear that in mind, but when you're flexing this hard, you just have to run with what you've got. So the team composition is pretty simple. We've got 2 dragons in the back, very weak to fairy and ice types, and we've got the fire and poison type in the lead, which is going to absolutely destroy fairy types and ice types. So it works very well as an ABB team. All 3 of these Pokemon are extremely glassy, but can certainly put in work. So we're going to see if this flex is going to pay off or if it's going to backfire. Before we go into the battles, let's start things off with the question of the day. So I recently put out a poll asking for everyone's experience compared to their expectations for the GoFest that we just had this past weekend, and overall it seems like it was very negative, that people were expecting a lot more than what we got for GoFest. So my question of the day is going to be, next year, if you could make one major change to GoFest in order to improve it, what would it be and why? Now, if you did really enjoy this year's GoFest, then I'm sure you can still think of an improvement. So let me know down in the comment section below, and you may get a shout out in my next GBL video. But with that being said, let's get into the battles now. So I'm actually going to start things off with a bonus battle. This was the first battle I did with the team, and I completely forgot to TM it to have Incinerate on this Salazzle, so I'm running Poison Jab, meaning that this matchup against the Toxicroak is not great, so I dip into the Fraxure here, and because I did debuff the Toxicroak's defense, I'm able to Dragon Tail farm them down. They come in with a Mandibuzz, and unfortunately this Mandibuzz is going to get a very nice Snarl farm down here on my Fraxure. They now have a charge move ready. They're going to throw into the Salazzle straight away, so I'm going to shield this up, go for 1 Poison Fang, and then unfortunately I think I will have to let this Salazzle go down. So we land the Poison Fang. It's not looking great for us, but I'm going to let this Dark Pulse go through, and it takes me out, and now I come in with the Haxorus. They come in with a Registeel, and normally a Dragon type is not going to have a very good matchup against Registeel, but not Haxorus. Haxorus has access to counter, so we're absolutely deleting it with the fast move pressure here. I get to a second Night Slash before they get to a charge move. It's actually a CMP tie, and hopefully they go for the Focus Blast. They actually go for a Zap Cannon, which is pretty smart, but my opponent realizes they're not going to win that game, so they concede the match, and we're able to take their very first game with this team. Now into the next battle, I have TM'd over to Incinerate, and unfortunately we're met with a Politoed. We switch into the Haxorus and we're met with a Wigglytuff, so this is hard counter city right now, but that is the reason why we have 2 dragon types in the back. We can bait out the Charmer, and hopefully the Fraxure is going to have a much better time in the end game here. I'm actually going to commit to a full Incinerate farm down here against this Wigglytuff. They go for a Play Rough, so we could have actually tanked that quite comfortably, and we farm them down. We have 100 energy. I'm going to blind throw the Poison Fang, assuming the Politoed comes back in. It is, and we're going to go for the Poison Fang. I don't assume them to shield, but they actually do, and maybe I should have gone for another Poison Fang. My opponent is staying in for ages, and they switch to catch the move, and they catch it onto a Registeel. So things are just not looking very good for us in this game at all. We're getting hard countered the whole way through the battle. And that was a very good catch by my opponent, by the way, so a really good play there. Unfortunately, I'm going to let this go through. Hopefully they Zap Cannon, but to be honest, Zap Cannon probably still takes us out. I can't really do much here. I need to leave this matchup with 2 Poison Fangs, so I'm going to go for the Poison Fang here. Hopefully I can Incinerate down, but unfortunately I'm not able to. They get to a charge move, and there's no point shielding there because the Politoed definitely had back-to-back Weather Balls stored and ready to throw. Into the next game, we lead into a Wigglytuff now, so this is exactly where we want to see it, in the lead. They switch into a Galvantula. Now, I'm in a pretty tough spot here because I should really switch into one of the Dragon types in the back, but I know that the Wigglytuff is just going to come in and completely farm them down. So I'm going to go for the Poison Fang here, and then I'm going to switch into the Haxorus here, and hopefully I can counter it down, and I'm just barely able to counter farm down before they get to a charge move. They come back in with the Wigglytuff. I'm going for the Night Slash here, and I'm not able to get to another Night Slash, which is unfortunate, but that is okay. I'm going to bring the Salazzle back in, go for a Poison Fang straight away against the Wigglytuff here, not messing about. I don't really want to use my shield. And they have a Charizard in the back, so I'm going for the Poison Fang, but I don't know what happened there. Somehow I didn't get my Poison Fang registered, and I managed to overtap, which is unfortunate, but my opponent is not able to get to the back-to-back Dragon Claw, and I'm able to take them out there. So, a bit strange there, but I'm able to take the game anyway. Into the next game, we lead into a Shadow Snorlax, so I'm going to switch into the Haxorus here, and I'm met with a Sylveon, so we are just not catching a break against these Charmers here. But that is the whole reason that I switch into the Haxorus, to bait out a Charmer, so the team is working the way it should do. It's just unfortunate that there's so many Charmers here in the Great League Remix. And once again, I'm going to commit to a full Incinerate farm down up against this Sylveon here. Now, I am running Fire Blast, which isn't really expected from Salazzle, so I'm going to go straight for the Fire Blast, and can we land it against the Snorlax? No, they shield it, which is extremely disappointing. I'm going to get to the Dragon Claw here just after they get to a Body Slam, so very good timing by my opponent. I'm going for the Night Slash here, but I think I might just barely be outpaced to the next charge move, as they did have a slight head start. But they're not able to get to it, or they decided not to throw, so I'm able to go for the Night Slash here, take out the Snorlax, and they have a Shadow Kanto Ninetales here, so I'm going to go for the Dragon Claw here. It's going to do a lot of damage. If they try to farm me down, I'm going to be able to farm them down first, and I'm able to take that game. So GG's to that opponent. Into the next game, we lead into a Machamp, so on paper, this is a very good matchup, but you'll see these counters are doing so much damage, even though they're resisted. I'm going to go for the Poison Fang, and my opponent shields up, and they're going to go for a move of their own. They can honestly just go straight Cross Chop here, it should probably do enough damage. I'm going to get to another Poison Fang here. If this was a CMP tie, then we are able to win it, and they let it go through. I'm going to switch into Haxorus. They've just realised that I'm running counter, and then they switch into a Como-O, so another very spicy Dragon type here in the back. And unfortunately, they're able to Dragon Tail farm me down. I'm going to come in with the Fraxure here, I think. Yep, I come in with the Fraxure, and luckily, or not luckily, this is how it should be, but I get a Dragon Tail through, so they can't throw back-to-back Dragon Claws. I'm going to go straight for the Night Slash here, and really, I need to be able to catch a move here, because if I'm not able to, which I am able to, then I'm going to be able to get to the Night Slash with my Fraxure, but yeah, they would have triple resisted the Poison Fang from the Salazzle, so I needed that catch, and I'm able to stay that game, and we get a pointless Night Slash boost there. So I think that might be the only boost I get in this entire 2 sets, and it was completely pointless, didn't make any difference. But here we lead into a Snowy Cast Form, so this is a very good lead here. They're going straight for the Weather Ball. I'm gonna no shield, we freeze, we lag a lot, and then they switch into a Dragonair, so not great. They actually shield up. I'm going to switch into the Fraxure here, go for the Night Slash. They're actually doing massive damage with these Dragon Breaths. But my opponent decides not to expend both shields, so we do take switch advantage back. I'm going to come back in with the Salazzle here, shield up once, go for a Poison Fang, and hopefully I can farm them down before they get to another move. And my opponent decides to shield that up as well, and we're just barely not able to farm them down, but I'm going to let the Salazzle go down. Hopefully they don't have a Charmer in the back. I come in with the Haxorus, and they have a Typhlosion, so this is very good for us. I'm going to go for the Dragon Claw here as they're getting to a Blast Burn, and this is going to take out the Typhlosion, so I'm able to win that game. GG's to that opponent there. And into the next battle, we lead into a Frostlass, so a very good lead for us with the Salazzle. They're actually staying in, so potentially they're double weak to Salazzle. They go for the Shadow Ball, so a very good shield there. I'm going straight for the Fire Blast. My opponent probably isn't expecting it, and it lands. It does massive damage. I switch into the Fraxure, farm them down, expecting the Frostlass to come back in, but I can go for a Night Slash here, and this will force a shield back from my opponent, which I do get, and they're forced to throw as well, otherwise I would Dragon Tail farm them down. I'm going to come back in with the Salazzle here, one more Incinerate takes them out, and they actually have a Melmetal in the back. I'm going straight Poison Fang here. They shouldn't shield this up, but they decide to anyway because they saw how much damage that Fire Blast did and were probably scared that I somehow get to another Fire Blast. I'm going to switch into the Haxorus here and easily take out the Melmetal and take that game. So into the next game, I'm going to lead into a Whiscash, so not a very good lead at all. I'm going to switch into Haxorus. My opponent brings in a Frostlass, so this is actually okay for the Haxorus because Night Slash is going to be doing super effective damage. I'm going to get to another Night Slash here, and this should force a second shield or do a lot of damage. Unfortunately, my opponent completely farms me down, which is certainly not ideal. I'm going to shield this up. They bait me with an Avalanche. I'm going for the Poison Fang here. It is resisted, but I'm hoping it's going to be enough to take him out. And then I'm going to instantly switch into the Fraxure. But they survive with 1 HP, and now I'm going to have to shield up this Avalanche. Oh, what a poor play there. I should have just been patient and seen what happened. But yeah, that did not go to plan at all, but fortunately the Ninetales throws straight away instead of building up to a Psyshock, so I tank the Weather Ball, build up as much energy as possible, go for the Night Slash. Can we get a boost? No, of course not. We're only getting boosts if it's completely pointless and at the end of the battle. We go for the Dragon Claw there, and we switch and we catch the move here with the Salazzle, and can we get to a Dragon Claw here? We're lagging. We get to the Dragon Claw. Is this going to be enough to take out the Whiscash? It's not, and they just get to a Mud Bomb. So unfortunately, we just barely lose that one. Agonizingly close, but GG's to that opponent there. Really well played. Into the next game, we lead into a Mandibuzz. So a reasonably neutral lead here. They actually have the Air Slash, so they're going to be slow to get to the charge move. They throw straight away, so I get a full extra Incinerate through, which is really nice. I'm going to go for the Poison Fang here, as I don't really want to bait, or I don't want to go for the Fire Blast and have them shield it up. I'm going for the Fire Blast now. Hopefully they think it's another Poison Fang. Nope, they shield it up, and I'm actually going to switch into the Fraxure here. Don't know why I did that. I should always switch into the Haxorus because of things like this. If they had the Registeel up against the Haxorus, then I'd be in a great position. But I finally get the boost, so I was lying. We do get one Night Slash boost here. That wasn't completely pointless because this is going to flip this matchup. I'm going to be able to go for the Night Slash here and commit to a Dragon Tail farm down. And now we're in a pretty good position here. They're going to go for a move. I should just barely survive and get off a Dragon Claw here. This will easily take out the Mandibuzz because we are boosted. And they come in with the Vigoroth, so we should be in a good position as long as we don't take the Body Slam on the Haxorus. I'm going to come in with the Salazzle, force them to throw their energy, and they do so, so that is great. And now I can come in with the Haxorus, counter them down all the way to the Dragon Claw here. To be honest, we probably do just barely survive a Body Slam at this range, but I just wanted to be sure. So we take that game, so GG's to that opponent there. Into the next game, we lead into another Whiscash, so just awful luck here. They come in with a Wigglytuff, so once again, just getting absolutely hard countered. This is not fun, but that is the reason why we're running an ABB team, so that my Fraxure can hopefully dominate in the back, as long as they're not running double charm. For whatever reason, that Wigglytuff didn't even throw a move. I'm going for the resisted Fire Blast here. It does huge resisted damage, and I'm actually able to get to a Poison Fang before they can throw a move, and then I'm going to switch into the Fraxure here. I switch out, my opponent decides to switch into a Shadow Victory Bell, so they're running some very heavy fast move pressure damage Pokemon in the back, but it's not going to be working well for them because I can just shield this up. I have a Dragon Claw now loaded, and I'm going to be able to throw it into the Whiscash here, and I'm going to be able to take that game. Even though we had an awful lead and an awful switch, we lag a little bit there, but we're still able to take out that Whiscash. So GG's to that opponent there. And now going into the final battle of this second set, we're leading into a Dugong here, so we're going to see what they want to do. I did go up against one other Dugong which went for an Icy Wind straight away, which is not the play. I'm going for a Fire Blast, and boom, we take them out, and we are now looking to be in a very good position. I'm going to switch here and hoping that they throw a Bone Club straight away, but they don't. They switch into a Galvantula, and that's just game over. Like, there's nothing they can do anymore. I get the shield here. My opponent is going to go for the lunge, but I can shield this, farm down, and come out with another Night Slash. We're able to farm down the Galvantula, and my opponent realizes that they had no play whatsoever and they concede the match. So another 4-1 set with this team. So if you did enjoy today's video, then make sure you leave a like, leave a comment letting me know, and don't forget to respond to the question of the day for a chance at a shout out in my next GBL video. And with that being said, let's get into the shout outs from my previous GBL video. So we're going to start off with Weef, who suggests Goodra or Dino for the June Community Day. If it's Goodra, then they would want Dragon Claw or maybe Superpower, and if it's Hydreigon, then maybe Snarl for the fast move. And I think those are both very cool and very desirable Pokemon that we'd love to see for Community Day, so I hope we get either of those. And I'm also going to be shouting out Night Prowess 124 as they suggest Froakie with Hydro Cannon and Chespin with Frenzy Plant. Some pretty standard moves there for the starter Pokemon, but they also suggest a few other Pokemon which, I mean, having 4 answers to my question is kind of cheating, but whatever, let's just go with it. They also suggest Noibat, and I think that's really good because it's an extremely rare Pokemon. It requires 400 candies to evolve, and it has a really rubbish moveset currently, so it could certainly do with an upgrade, maybe a new fast and charge move. That would be ideal. And as well, they suggest Golett, which is extremely rare as well. Outside of the recent Go Fest, I can't remember the last time I saw a Golett in the wild. So yeah, both very good options as well. I think I'd be happy with any of those for Community Day. So with that being said, thank you all so much for watching today's video, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.